Joins us now. So well, there are growing questions today about the Justice Department announcing that they are reinstating the controversial practice of asset forfeiture. Critics are concerned because they say that it allows law enforcement to seize any suspect's possessions without necessarily having to issue a criminal conviction or in some cases even an indictment. But the department is defending the move, saying that they're going to be putting in place certain safeguards to ensure that there is sufficient evidence of criminal activity and that the evidence is well documented. CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reed is in Washington. She joins us now. So break this down for us, Paula. What actually is asset forfeiture, and does it have a legal role in criminal investigations?
It does have a role in some criminal investigations. Asset forfeiture is when law enforcement seizes property, be it a house, a car, or cash believed to be connected to a crime. No one's going to argue that you want to give proceeds from drug sales back to a drug cartel to put into their operations. But the concern, Rena, is with people who perhaps are initially suspected to be part of a crime, lose their property, but are later found out to be completely innocent. And whatever the reason for that initial stop or initial search was, is found to be not connected to any sort of criminal activity. Those people have historically had a very difficult time getting their property back from the government, particularly if they don't have a lot of resources. It costs a lot of money to go up against the Justice Department. This is why almost half the states and the federal government have tried to limit this practice of asset forfeiture.
So what exactly is Attorney General Sessions doing here?
Right now, he is saying that if you are in a state, any state, but especially those that have required now, you can only seize assets if it's connected to a criminal charge or a criminal case. If you're in one of those states, now if you join up with the federal government, you can still practice asset forfeiture. So this practice is called adoption. It's a loophole for states where this is banned for local law enforcement to still seize assets. And then if they share the proceeds with the federal government, they get around their state restrictions. Now, this is enormously controversial because many people are concerned that this in some way gives state and federal government authorities the ability to seize private property without having to prove that it was connected to a crime.
And aren't most Republicans against this policy, Paula?
Yeah, Rena, I mean, there is broad bipartisan consensus that this practice needs to be reformed. It was limited under the Obama Justice Department. Eric Holder limited this practice of adoption. Today, Darrell Issa, he issued a statement. He called this new policy a troubling step backwards, even with the safeguards that are in place. And even Justice Clarence Thomas, in a recent Supreme Court opinion, he noted that this is a very troubling practice. He said it frequently targets the poor and other groups, those least able to defend their interests in the proceedings. So this is a pretty far out there position to reinstate asset forfeiture when half the states and the federal government have been going through the process of reform.
So you've got Issa and Clarence Thomas coming forward saying that this isn't something you should do. So why is Sessions doing this now?
A recent independent watchdog report within the Justice Department found that a lot of local police departments depend on the money that they got from seizing these assets. The independent watchdog report from the Office of Inspector General also noted that these kinds of programs, this adoption program, is very important for local and federal cooperation. Now, many law enforcement agencies believe it's an important tool for them to conduct criminal investigations. But again, it is extremely controversial, and over half the states have been pressing successfully to reform the practice.
Quickly, before you go, Paula, I got word that the U.S. Supreme Court is temporarily allowing the Trump administration to include grandparents in the travel ban and limited entry of refugees. How significant do you think this is?
This is a minor step. If you remember in the Supreme Court decision agreeing to take out the travel ban issue, they said that they can enforce the travel ban except when it comes to close relationships. Now, Rena, anyone knows that close relationship, that's a pretty vague term. So the administration came out with a list of people they considered to be close relations, and there was pushback on that. And even immediately after the list came out, there's already some sort of evolution. For example, fiancés were excluded, but within a few hours they were included. Well, grandparents were also excluded, but now the Supreme Court, after some litigation out in Hawaii, they have now said yes, grandparents constitute a close relationship. But ultimately, Rena, the final word on the travel ban will come in the fall when the Supreme Court hears arguments about the policy as a whole.
All right, Paula Reed, thank you for joining us, Paula.
Forfeiture loot corrupts justice. When law enforcement agencies make money by seizing property, due process vanishes. Jacob Sullum, August 23, 2017. In Ohio during the 1920s, people caught with intoxicating liquors could be tried by rural mayors, who were paid for each conviction and authorized to impose fines that were split between the village and the state. 4 decades later, mayors' courts in Ohio were handling traffic cases, which did not reward the mayors directly but generated substantial income for their villages. According to the U.S. Supreme Court, both of these arrangements violated the right to due process, since the judges had a financial incentive to find people guilty. Civil asset forfeiture creates a similar problem, encouraging police and prosecutors to take property from innocent owners and turn a deaf ear to their objections. That is what happened to Rhonda Cox, whose pickup truck was seized in 2013 by Pinal County, Arizona, sheriff's deputies when they arrested her son for installing stolen parts in it. Cox argues that the forfeiture violated her right to due process, and last week a federal judge refused to dismiss her lawsuit, recognizing the constitutional concerns raised by a system that lets law enforcement agencies make money by confiscating assets they say are linked to crime. In Arizona, U.S. District Judge Diane Hume-Tewa noted, the law enforcement agencies that initiate and complete a forfeiture get to keep all of the proceeds. Some agencies, such as the Arizona Department of Public Safety's Bomb Squad, SWAT team, and Hazardous Materials Unit, are funded entirely by forfeitures, while others rely on them to pay for vehicles, equipment, overtime, retirement fund contributions, and image-building donations to local civic groups. According to Cox's complaint, Lando Voiles, who as Pinal County attorney approved the confiscation of her truck, even used forfeiture loot to pay for his home security system. This financial interest tends to make cops and prosecutors less than sympathetic to the rights of innocent property owners like Cox, who did not know her son had borrowed her truck, let alone that he was doing anything illegal with it. The deputies who took the truck said there was no way she'd ever get it back, and Voiles' office rejected her petition for mitigation out of hand, claiming, incorrectly, that she was not entitled to relief because she had purchased the truck for family use. Deputy Pinal County Attorney Craig Cameron also claimed, inconsistently, inaccurately, and irrelevantly, that Cox was a straw buyer for her son. Rhonda was caught in a Kafkaesque predicament where, bizarrely, she bore the burden of proving that she was entitled to get the truck back, her complaint notes. The state did not have to prove that Rhonda did anything wrong, let alone criminal, in order to keep the truck. Cox could not afford to take her challenge further, especially since the cost of a lawyer could easily have exceeded the $6,000 she paid for the truck. Under state law at the time, she also would have been on the hook for the government's legal expenses if she lost. The American Civil Liberties Union, which is representing Cox, notes that forfeitures in Pinal County frequently involve property worth less than $1,000, making legal challenges prohibitively expensive. That effectively means the agencies that stand to profit from a forfeiture are the first and final arbiters of whether it's justified. Even prosecutors understand the potential for corruption in this situation. A training presentation from the Arizona Prosecuting Attorneys Advisory Council, which Judge Hume-Tewa quotes in her ruling, warns that when your bosses can't find any money in their budget they get depressed, and when they get depressed they tell you to start doing forfeiture cases. Playing off those jokey DirecTV ads about the hazards of cable, the downward spiral continues until cops start seizing everything in sight, screw things up, and ruin forfeitures for all of us. Although the slide is supposed to be an admonition about the need for educated, ethical and professional forfeiture practices, it is really a lesson about the hazards of legalized theft.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I found that I had to make a change this ending on my videos, letting you know about the channel and fair use laws, you know, how we can report on other people's reporting and how it's good, how it's bad, etc. But you guys can look it up yourself. It is legal. It's in there. But like I've told you before, that I've been cut off from making money on YouTube for 4 years. It's really weird, bizarre, but they cut the money off, but they said you can keep the channel, and now YouTube makes all the money. And if you get bored, plug it into Social Blade, website, and you'll see that they are making a huge amount off the site. Right now it's at 63 million views, 53,000 subscribers, almost 3 million views a month. You know, trying to wake people up, and I make nothing. In fact, I got a customer that's ex-congressman. He said if I could ever find a lawyer, sue YouTube on it. But because this is nuts. 4 hours a day, and to save America. You know, but at the same time, it's worth it. Look at what our founding fathers did. They died for this country. So, but getting back to the money part, this is why I'm redoing the video. Is my dream of everyone giving $1, and it's going to be $53,000 a year, or if they did Patreon, which you know, can be monthly. That is not working. That'd be great if it did. Nothing is perfect. And I appreciate the people that do donate, you know, what they can on PayPal. And there again, I'm letting you guys know that is not much. Is, you know, monthly is, oh my god. So anyways, yes, you cannot live on it. It's very, very, very low amount. But the dollar things, I do appreciate that. But when I first said everybody give $1, that's not working. I'm just letting you guys know it's, yeah, that's that dream. Everybody gives $1. 53,000 subscribers, it's not working. So, yes, if you can give more than that, you know, I appreciate it. Like I said, you know, I'm in a unique situation where, you know, we're already debt free, and I'm not rich, but with the little business that we have, I am able to do what I am able to do 45 hours a day, you know, letting you guys know what's going on. In 4 years, I've did the whole thing myself, 12,000 videos on there. I literally get emails where people are like, holy crap, I never knew it was this bad. And it is this bad, and it's getting worse every day because we have the internet, we have cell phones, we have cameras everywhere now, and it's just disgusting what's going on. And then, as you guys know too, we got Trump, we got Jeff Sessions doing a war on drugs, and now he wants to go after the forfeiture laws again. It's just unfreaking real. So if you can give more than that dream of everybody giving $1, yeah, that old video, that's not working. They're not, they're just not. So anyways, if you can give more than that dream is not working. Hardly anybody is giving. There you go. So that's why I'm remaking the video. If you can give more than that, that would be great. And there again, like I said, the Patreon's there. There is some people on there that are starting to give, but there again, it's very, very low. And like I said, I don't want to get rich off of that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because, you know, it's still so stinking corrupt. It's not even funny. My court case that I'm going to be paying out of my pocket myself with Charlotte County's coming up. They illegally looked me up and then posted all my information on LEOAFFAIRS website. They basically doxed me, however you want to say that. I forget what the word is, and they outed me, man. And that information on that site went out to 500 sheriffs, deputies, people that work at the jail, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, it is very, very scary, but we're going to do a federal case, 1983 case, violating freedom of speech. We have 17 cameras in the house now. We got 2 cameras in the car. I always carry a camera plus a cell phone. A lot of people are highly recommending I get a vest now. If I could, if the wife would let me, I would run for sheriff. We are trying to push the thing nationwide right now, where just to mix it up and to get the topics out there is register to run for sheriff, NPA, no party affiliation, as a write-in, and that is completely free, and you can participate in the elections. And there's a lot of stuff. We got a guy, James McLinnis in Pinellas County, Tampa, who almost won. He experienced the corruption himself. The story is unbelievable. Look him up. It's mind-blowing what they did. It pissed him off. He is very, very smart. He has way more money than I did. He ran for sheriff at the last 3 months last year in 2016 and almost won. He got all of the black vote. And the reason why he did that is because he ran in, I will not bust, we're in Florida, I will not bust anybody for weed anymore unless it's an ungodly huge amount, like pounds. And then he also ran in, no more victimless crimes, no more of this freaking road pirate bull crap. and that he was going to cut the budget by 30%. And when you think about that, you can. If you stop the road pirates, you can get rid of a bunch of people. Gone. So, the wife has been saying, yes, I can, yes, I can't. So I don't know. We're trying to find somebody that can do it because I am busy doing this anyways. But, so I'm making a video, like I said, that $1 a month from everybody, you know, for 53,000 subscribers, that is not working. I'm just letting you guys know. Absolutely give way more than $1 a month. If you can, I appreciate anything. By the way, remember too, when you give that, PayPal takes like freaking 15 to 20%, so it's even worse than that. But, and there again, like I'm letting you guys know, it's way, what I get is very, very low. Appreciate it, but it is very, very low. Can't live on it. I'm just, you know, I'm working, and that's what I'm working on. And that court case is going to cost a buttload of money. That's federal court. Just the filing fees and the depositions that we're going to be doing with this corrupt cop. So there's another reason to give. We are going to be doing a deposition with this very corrupt. He was in a drug squad. He is a bad guy. He's on steroids. We heard steroids are rampant here. That's why their attitude is so bad. And we are going to get him on video, and it will be on YouTube. So that case alone is $5,000 just to bring it to court, and that's my money out of my pocket. So there's another reason to give, and give way more than $1 if you can. So keep that in mind. This is the new video, and I see, God, I talk a lot. It's already 7 minutes, but had to make it just to let you know that $1 a month from everybody is not working. They're not doing it. So if you can give more than that, please. So thanks. Keep it up. Share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, send me your videos on corruption, and I'll post it.